After contemplating this gospel lesson for the past week, I think I finally got why marriages are so filled with anxiety. It came to me in a simple phrase: the peril of joy. Joy is at great peril in weddings because they are laden so heavy with expectation. It's your special day. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be perfect. And the mother-in-law is always there to make sure. And it always happens, oh, we just want a small service and boom, church gets filled up. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be anxiety. That's just the nature of a marriage. I remember a wedding that happened in Atlanta. And this was in a big church in suburban Atlanta. And it was in June. And it was a sweltering, hot summer day. And of course, the air conditioning went out. So everybody's sitting there furiously fanning themselves. The processional comes in because they really did it up big. You know, Jamie's smiling because she had a really hot wedding too. The processional comes down the aisle. The acolytes take their places. The bridegroom is standing there, the bride's standing there, and right before the priest starts, an acolyte goes, fall, out. And without missing a beat, the priest said, don't worry, it's common practice in an Episcopal wedding to sacrifice an acolyte. Of course, the acolyte was okay, we don't do that. But weddings, things are going to happen. Just like this story at Cana of Galilee. Jesus is standing there and a real faux pas has taken place. Because weddings at this time, life was so mean. Weddings were an occasion of great joy, a time to party, to get away from it all. Good food, good drink, families from all around. And this guy didn't have enough wine. And mom comes to Jesus and says, they don't have enough wine. There's the peril of joy. First of all, the party's going to be cut short, and the bridegroom's going to lose face and be humiliated. All that's implied there. What are you going to do? Well, I'm not going to do anything. It's not my time yet. And like a good Jewish mother, she just turns to the stewards and ignores him and says, do whatever he tells you. And of course, the water is turned into wine, and she pushes him at that moment into an alchemical moment. He becomes the alchemist that transmutes water into wine. But also another aspect of alchemy took place there. And it has to do with marriage itself. Up until this point, up until Christianity, for the most part, marriages weren't seen in a spiritual light. They were seen more as a civil contract. This is a way that we're going to weave society's web together and make it whole. After this, we end up with marriage being something very different. You know, when you look up the wedding ceremony in the Book of Common Prayer, it talks about the marriage at Cana of Galilee and how marriage itself is now a sign, a symbol of Christ's love for the church. It's taking on a more profound meaning. It's become what we call in the church a sacrament, a sign of God's grace. Isn't that wonderful? Don't you just love it? Then why is there so much divorce? Divorce is rampant. Well, there's good reason for that. Two people that come here and stand here and say, I do, yeah, for better, for worse, blah, 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 and I bless them, doesn't necessarily mean that there's a sacrament there. Because there's another phase of alchemy that must take place. A lot of people get to this spot through passion. Oh, I love you so much. Oh, I'll always love you. You know, how many of you have heard that? Okay, yeah. Even Max. You can't see see, but he raised his hand. We hear that. And what, invariably, at a wedding service, we always get, if I speak with the tongues of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy cymbal or a clanging gong. Love is wonderful, love is this, love is that, and everything's about love. Passion can burn up and leave in its wake ash. And that's usually the ash of pardon, because there wasn't an alchemical moment in that relationship where that passion of love was placed in the fire-hot center of true love, and an alloy takes shape that I recognize as like. Sounds too simple, doesn't it? In my years as a priest, my job is to seek out the sacramental bond. And I understand that sacramental bond to be like. Are you friends? Is this your best friend? Because friendship will withstand all the pressures that life's going to throw at it. And married couples face a lot of pressures through life. Financial, sexual, with children, with the in-laws. The list just goes on and on. And people who are in passion with one another, they hit a few of those tough things, and all that's left is ash. Friends, they grow stronger and stronger and stronger. What do you think? Think we ought to sacrifice and act like No. So we're not going to do that. But one thing that does happen with weddings, and it begins with this story, an alchemical moment occurs. And you know what? Oh, don't call me yet. You know what? That alchemical moment doesn't happen here. That's one thing people don't realize. The sacrament of marriage doesn't happen here. It happens out there when two people look into one another's eye, man and woman or of the same sex, and they recognize their truest friend. And in that moment, the alchemy of real love takes place. And they come to this spot and they say, guess what happened? Love. Friendship. And you guys are safe.